guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my refresher of Seeking Sister Wife. There's no A. Season 3, Episode 2, Irreconcilable Differences. Welcome to all my new subscribers, and hey girl, hey to all of my subscribers who have been down since, I first started recapping-ish. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share on any social media platform that you deem fit, and let's jump right into this episode. First couple that we're going to talk about are the Clarks. Where we left off last episode, they're moving into a house. We find out there's some kind of tension in the household. So we have a mini scene where Vanessa and Gerard choose to have a secret conversation about Kayla, where they basically bring us up to speed as to what the problem is. Now, I was completely wrong. I thought there was the issue between Gerard and Kayla, but no, the issue is actually between Kayla and Vanessa, and as we learn later on, more so with Kayla and how she fits into the family unit. So I think they said 2 months ago, Vanessa comes home from work and she noticed that the microwave was dirty, and she said something to Kayla about it. It pissed Kayla off. Kayla went and grabbed every last single one of her items, left and moved in with her friend, and it left the family feeling fractured. They didn't know what had happened. They knew that something had happened, but that the catalyst was Vanessa talking to Kayla about it. So as they're moving into this new house, Kayla is not moving in with them, but she is helping them move. Kayla states that her primary role with this family is taking care of the house and taking care of the children. And somewhere along the way, Kayla lost herself. And I think she had been having issues thinking about not actually providing anything, especially monetarily, to the family, not quite understanding like what she was bringing to it, not feeling appreciated or possibly loved. I'm not sure. But it was a volcano ready to erupt, and it erupted. So her and Vanessa had a conversation in which she's trying to explain to Vanessa how she's feeling, and Vanessa keeps talking over her. And I got frustrated watching it because every time Kayla would say, I feel like this because you guys go to work, and Vanessa's like, well, you go to work, I want to stay home. You don't think I'm jealous of you because you get to stay home all day? And it just is like this kind of, I guess, friction where maybe Kayla is being made to feel as though she is the maid, like less about her being the woman at home all the time and the one who takes care of the house and the kids, but more so is that she's Vanessa's maid because she doesn't bring anything to the table financially. And I could definitely understand her feeling that way. I don't know how most polygamous families work as far as who work and who doesn't work, but I could definitely see Kayla's point of view. We really don't know the nitty-gritty of what's going down, but it looks like at the end of their conversation, even though Vanessa was interrupting Kayla constantly, that they came to some kind of understanding that still Kayla wasn't going to move into the house, but they were taking baby steps and they were going to get there. Then we have a scene with Gerard in like a pink 80s muscle shirt talking about he's going to go train somebody, and so he left, and then that's when Vanessa and Kayla had the conversation. So we had a confessional with Kayla, which, I mean, entirely too much eyelash. I mean, the eyelash is from here to here, and it's just like, how does she even open her eyes? You know what I'm saying? So Kayla tells us that when she moved out, she found a sense of freedom, she found herself, she got 2 jobs, and now she feels so much better, but she does miss her family, and she would like to move back in with the family, and Vanessa says, we would like you to move back in too, but this can't happen again. Also, Kayla says that she does value her position in their house, that she wants to be a good sister wife. She does love Vanessa and she is willing to come back. However, there needs to be some big changes in, I guess, the way she is treated and how she has autonomy to herself and how she sees herself in the household, which I can 100% agree. Now, here's the deal. If the home is my domain and somebody who doesn't even do anything in this domain comes to the house and tells me the microwave is dirty, girl, clean the microwave then. Clean the microwave then. If you see that some little household chore needs to get done, then just do it. Make the kids clean up after themselves. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Dimitri and Angela. I don't know this woman's name. I know it starts with an A, and I now know it's not April, but I can't recall. So I'm gonna call her Angela this time. So they're at the airport with all the kids waiting to meet Crystalline. Crystalline is their potential housewife. Crystalline is their potential next sister wife, and they're excited to meet her. When Crystalline gets there, there's lots of hugs all around, and I noticed that she has to hug Amber first. That's not her name. Angela, Amber, any name with the A, you know I'm talking about the wife. She has to hug Amber first, because she has to kind of pay that homage to the first wife. And then she hugs Dimitri. So as they're driving back, the kids are yammering and making a lot of noise. I'm sure it's very overwhelming. This is the first time Crystalline has been out of the country. And she is basically talking to these strangers that she's only been talking to for 5 months. She says that she's so excited to see them. She wants to jump up and down, but she's in front of all these people. And so she can't wait to like have that kind of meeting with them back at the house. So she says that she's very attracted to Dimitri, that he is hot like fire. And I'm like, oh my God, girl, what are you seeing that I don't see? What is it? I would like to know. They get back to the house, they show her her room, the kids are really excited. Crystalline ends up telling us that there are a couple things that she's looking for to make sure that this is what she wants to do. This is the first time that she's even entertained the idea of being in a plural relationship. She wants to make sure that they're good with their kids. She wants to see how they interact with each other so that she can kind of gauge this, but she only has 5 days to do so. So they let her go to sleep because she's extremely jet lagged. And the next morning they have smoothies and they kind of talk about where Crystalline is. You know, her kids are age 8 and 5. They know about the plural relationship, but they're now staying with her brother while she's in the US. She hasn't told any of her family about this, which makes April go, okay, she's vetting us the same way that we're vetting her, which is good because that shows that she is trying to be very purposeful and cognizant about this relationship. You can tell that Dimitri is 100% into it. And for whatever reason, I don't believe Demetrius's like want to do this. It feels very nefarious on his end, to the point where, so that things don't get muddy, Demetrius knows that he's not supposed to have any kind of physical contact with Crystalline except for maybe a kiss, but otherwise no kind of sex whatsoever, because we're in the dating, getting to know phase, and April is not okay with them kind of bumping nasties. And if we remember season 1, that's exactly what he did with that little 22-year-old from Seattle girl, jumped the gun and had sex with her. And it's like, no, that's not what this is about. But I think for Dimitri, it is what this is about. Like, he wants to have more sex with more than one person. And Angela has to wrangle him in because he's doing too much. They have a fun little segment where April tries to figure out what Crystalline is going to be doing in the household, like what is her role. And Amber asks her, do you cook? And Crystalline's like, no, I hate cooking. And I'm like, girl, I hate it too. You know, like I hate it. I don't want it. I don't like it. And it's not because I'm lazy. Like, I'll do it, but then I can't eat the food because it doesn't taste the same when I cook. When someone else cooks, it tastes delicious. When I cook, I don't taste anything because I've been smelling and seeing the food for the last 30 to 60 minutes, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, Amber then asks her, well, then what will your role be? And she's like, I love to do laundry. And April's like, yes, high five to laundry. You can do it all day. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'm into that. Dimitri says that it is a little concerning that she hasn't told her family because he feels that if the family isn't on board, it could cause trouble with them in their relationship in the long run, which I would agree with. Oh, you guys, you like her? You like her? You like her? She's new. She's new. Check the description box so you can see her. She knew. I had to cut the bangs a little bit because they were assaulting my eyeballs. They were so long. Next couple that we're going to talk about is Tasha and Sidney. So no Captain Jack Sparrow in this episode. Maybe he was feeling a little too emo. It was mainly about Tasha Michelle and her mother Teresa. So we have Tasha in the car on the way to her mother. We find out that Tasha has an estranged sort of relationship with her mother. They have a hard time communicating with each other. But Tasha is hoping to tell her mother about her plural relationship and what's been going on in her life for the past 4 years. And she's hoping that there won't be a lot of judgment when it comes to that. And girl, her hopes were dashed because her mother came in full guns blazing, ready to judge. I mean, I've never heard someone say the word cult so many times. Tasha's on the way to see her mother Teresa, and she's saying, Mother Teresa, that's hilarious. So she's worried that her mother may or may not know. She told her aunt and her sister, so she's saying that her mother may know through the grapevine, but this is the first time she's going to actually come out. And she's nervous. So she gets to her mother's house and she has a little brown paper bag and it's supposedly, I guess, a gift or something. But girl, on the inside of it is just pictures of herself. So I'm like, what kind of gift is this? I'm sure your mother has seen these pictures. She was there. She took them. Immediately, Tasha turns into a child and she just has this baby voice that she's talking to her mom. She's like, hi, mom. This is for you. They go into the backyard and they start to talk just about the items that are in the paper bag. Her mother is like, this little girl, who knew that she was going to be in a polygamous relationship? And Tasha was shooketh. Tasha was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's talk about it. So Teresa's then like, are you in a cult? Are you in a cult? How are you meeting this sister wife? How is it gonna work? What about jealousy? So do you guys all sleep together? Are you in a cult? And Tasha's like, no, I'm not in a cult. We're not religious. We're modern polygamists. And no, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't have a relationship with them, sexual, but they would be like my sister and we would just have the same husband. And so it is kind of hard because you don't find people on the internet, do you? No, we don't. I mean, Sidian looks for people and, you know, it's different now, but so Teresa's going in, girl. She wants to make sure that Sidian hasn't brainwashed her daughter, and Tasha has some really high hopes about how her mother's going to eventually be a part of this family. Tasha wants it to be where her mother eventually just is a grandparent to all of these grandchildren. And Tasha's like, we've been looking for a sister wife, so I've been a second wife, so I know how it feels, so yeah. And it's a real awkward conversation with Teresa. Next couple. Ooh, we have got Danielle and Garrick. So this is a hard little segment to watch. So we have Danielle in her kitchen and her parents come over, which they say they come over quite often. And it's interesting because I thought both sides of the family had disowned, but it's really just Garrick's side of the family, which is interesting because usually it would be the woman's side of the family that would be super, super judgy, but it's the male side of the family. And they're like judging him for like being a demon or something. Her parents come over and the mother is still not comfortable with the idea of this polygamous lifestyle, and neither is Danielle, you guys. Neither is Danielle. We can see Danielle's skepticism this entire time, but she is more scared of losing Garrick and being by herself than she is of entering into a polygamous relationship. It is so interesting to watch. So the father is trying to be supportive and so is the mother. They've both seen her crying on their doorstep about this entire situations that's going on. And the worry is that if they get this divorce, Garrett could just pick up and move on with the new. And I would be so concerned about that, especially because Danielle isn't interested in having kids anymore. And I think that when you enter into a relationship like polygamy, where the basis of it, or the originalness of it, the origins of it, that's the word, was to have the woman basically have as many children as they could. Like that choice of like, I don't want any more kids. Is that part of the reason why he wants to be in a polygamous relationship? That he does love Danielle? This is my theory, you guys. He really does love Danielle. But he's like, I want some new. I want someone, I want to feel fresh and young again. I want someone who wants to have kids. I want someone who's happy. I want someone who excites me, and maybe Danielle doesn't excite him anymore, which is shitty. It's shitty for Danielle. They go to the court to get divorced, and they have to actually say, when the judge asks them are you sure that your marriage is at a point where it's irreconcilable or something like that? And they have to say yes. So they have to lie in a court of law in order to get divorced, which I didn't know that that's what happened. I thought you just signed papers, but maybe in the state that they're in, you actually have to go to court and be like, irreconcilable. Like, for the record. So she's crying, and of course I would be crying too. Like, this is not real, but you have to pretend it's real. Oh, girl, by the power invested in me, they are now divorced, and they get their papers, and then they get back to the car, and they have to put their rings back on. At first, they go in, they take off their rings, and they go in separately, but then now they're just, like, getting back in the same car and going to the house. And I'm like, what is that? Not prenup, but what was the divorce? What did it look like? If I were Danielle and I was so worried about him packing up and leaving, I would have been like, you have to put the house in my name. The house is mine. At the very end of it, like, you can walk away with all the money, but this house is mine. Something. Did she take care of herself at all? We all hope she did. So they go to a divorce celebration / birthday party for her brother. And her sister-in-law has some pretty hard questions for her, mainly being, how are you going to feel when Bert gets pregnant? And Danielle's like, well, I guess we'll cross the bridge when we get there. And yeah, I'm going to be, it's going to hurt and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the sister-in-law is like, I don't think that Danielle understands how much this is going to impact her. And you know what? I have to agree. I didn't even think about it from this perspective, but Danielle has been with Garrett for 13 years. She has had him to herself, rocky or no, in trouble or no, through sickness and health for 13 years. And now she's not going to have him to herself. She has to share him. He's going to split off time in the bed with Bert. No matter how much Bert is her sister, this is someone who she doesn't even speak the same language as, and they're supposed to, what, be best friends and sisters and share the same man who she is in love with and jealous about? This is not gonna work, guys. It's interesting because they're gonna go meet and hang out with Bert, but while they're there, Danielle is gonna have to sleep alone because Garrick and Bert are gonna be cuddly wuddly and hanging out and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, how is this even gonna be possible? Like, you should have at least let Garrett and Bert go by themselves. Like, girl, you need to be there? That's so awkward. Is Danielle gonna cry every single episode? Girl, if you're crying every single episode, this isn't for you. Listen to your body. They're hoping the K1 visa works out. If it doesn't work out, then they're gonna find a country, I guess, that they can go and live together in, like both a foreign country. I say go to Canada. It's close and they speak English. Yeah, go to Canada. All right, you guys, so that is the end of this episode. I want to thank you guys so much for rocking with me. Let's have a kiki and a conversation down below. Let me know what you thought. Thumbs up this video and share on any social media platform that you deem fit. You can find me on all the social medias as Just Call Me Wah, so go on ahead and give us a follow. And let's talk about seeking sister wife. So have a fantastic week, you guys. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Oh, check out these videos. Check them out, check them out. Check them out, check them out. Check them out, check them out, check them out. Check them out, check them out.